A complete blockade is in force at Gaza right now. Israel is preparing for a full land invasion of Gaza. The US has mobilized multiple naval battle groups to the eastern Mediterranean. Yes, I've literally spent most of the whole day going through trying to find out as much as I possibly can what is going on out there in Israel, and there is so much going on, and lots of this isn't reported on the mainstream for some weird reason. It's like they want to talk about something else. This seems pretty important to me, and when you look at all of these ingredients added together, it's almost like a pre-war footing of all of these pieces moving together. It is pretty alarming. Now, what I would like you to do is stay to the end of the video where we're going to talk about something about false flag stuff. There are lots of things going on with this. So, like we just said, a complete full blockade of the Gaza Strip is now in place. No electricity, no gas, no water, no food, nothing. All borders are sealed. Like I said, Israel is preparing for a full land invasion. So we are talking boots on the ground, not just rockets and air attacks. There has been lots of all of that stuff going on over recent days, literally softening up the whole area, ready for attack. Like we just said, the US has mobilized multiple naval battle groups to the eastern Mediterranean. Not only that, all 11 United States Air Force bases are on full alert here in the UK. And I've got someone who has been literally observing what's been going on at a place called RAF Croughton. RAF Croughton is one of the biggest US bases in the UK, predominantly aimed towards intel passing and gathering. Lots of police activity there. Unusual amounts, in fact. So that's what's going on in our own backyard. Also, we have been seeing reports, and if I'm going to find it, I'm going to put it up on the screen. RAF fighter jets have been seen flying in and around Cyprus. Don't forget, Cyprus isn't that far away from this potential war zone which is brewing right now. What we've just discovered, there are 2 German drones on their way to Israel from the German government. Also, what else have we got? The Israeli Sayeret Matkal. So basically what that is the Israelis' equivalent of the SAS, okay? It's pretty much the same template as our SAS troopers use, and how they've been trained, how they're organised, how it's run. They are currently in hostage rescue operations as we speak in Gaza, working close with Mossad. That's going on right now. So it does look like all of the softening up stuff, all of the bombing, all of the rocketing, all of that sort of thing has been carried out. They now have special forces units in and around Gaza, trying to get as many hostages as they can out of there. This stuff's brewing, and it's brewing fast. All US land, sea and air bases in the Middle East are also on alert. And there are loads. I'll put that up on the screen now too. Israel have also have 360,000 plus military reservists literally ready and waiting to go. They're just receiving orders. They are all moving into attack formations as we speak. This is really building up. Also, we've only just found out this probably about an hour ago now. Damascus and Aleppo airports in Syria have been destroyed by Israeli rockets earlier. Now, there was thoughts that the Iranian foreign minister was en route to Syria due to land there and had to turn back and abort. And I think he's gone somewhere else away from the area, because that is coming in hot right there. So yes, Damascus and Aleppo airports are now destroyed, basically leaving them out of commission. So no flights in or out of those 2 main airports in Syria. Iran and Saudi Arabian leaders have been in communication. Now, this hasn't happened for quite a long time, since the agreements a few years back. So that's pretty historic, especially in light of what's going on now. Iran also has 200, yes, 200 Cayman 19 drones to cover strategic waters of the Persian Gulf and the Sea of Oman. So we're looking at the Straits of Hormuz and all of those areas around there. That does look like it's going to be a bottleneck. All it needs is one of those great big large tankers in the right place to be taken out, and that is going to slow everything down, like oil production down for months. So we are potentially looking at a big rise in fuel prices here in the UK. Pro tip, now will be a good time to get some extra supplies in ready in case there's shortages or price hikes or whatever it is. You don't want to be missing out without fuel. So that's a little thing for us to keep an eye on here in the UK. Also, Israel has literally just formed an emergency war government. Now, we all know what happens when you hear the word emergency when it comes into play regarding governments. Lots of extra powers, lots of them usually draconian, under the guise of safety and emergency. That is in play right now. The UK government is currently arranging flights from Israel for British nationals. Guess what? £300 a person. All of the other flights which could have been used, all of the main ones like British Airways and Air France, etc., all of those have been grounded recently. So the UK government are now scratching around trying to get flights out there to get British nationals out of Israel. What do you think is coming down the pipe? This is all happening literally really fast. Israeli IDF chief says, in quote, Gaza will never look the same. Let that sink in. We are going to be looking at something truly historic. Everything is just moving into position. It's crazy. Now, who has heard of Itamar Ben-Gvir? Who has heard of that guy? He's the Israeli Minister of National Security. We're going to come on to him right at the end of this video, so stay tuned and don't drop out now. He is currently purchasing 10,000 rifles to arm civilian security teams near the Gaza border. Wow. 4,000 rifles have already been distributed, including helmets and body armor. Does that ring any bells? Who remembers what happened in Ukraine when that started? I know, similarities, isn't there? And that is obviously a proxy war. I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that. So we move on. The Home Secretary here in the UK has said flying Palestinian flags in the UK is going to be illegal under the new Public Order Act. Do you remember me making a video about the Public Order Act this year? All of those new things are coming into play. So guess what? We're going to be moving on to that in a bit. Stay tuned. Rishi Sunak said all UK government buildings and public buildings must show the Israeli flag. Like I said on yesterday's video, if you haven't watched that, I'll stick that on the end of this one if you haven't seen it. What we're looking at here is classic, truly classic, divide and conquer tactics. They've been using it for years. They use the human emotion to trigger people. They need to get people riled, really wound up, so they really are going to go hammer and tong with each other. Also, we said on yesterday's video that there has been the leader of Hamas is calling for mobilization of pro-Palestinian protest globally this Friday. Looking into it, the weather in and around London this Friday, it's hammering down with rain. Also, off the back of that, Saturday the 14th, so it's the day after, and yes, there is a new moon on that night. We spoke about this before. 12 o'clock noon till 3:30 p.m. at BBC Broadcasting House, London, March for Palestine. So if any of you guys live in and around that area, I would definitely air a sense of caution if you need to go out and about around midday to the afternoon. I suspect there's going to be people gathering from 9 o'clock there anyway. I suspect the severity of what's happening, the amount of people are being notified and being told about this, that is going to literally be an all-day event, maybe into the evening. We will wait and see. Already we have seen protests in London and all over the world. It's been crazy, even right outside 10 Downing Street, Piccadilly Circus, Trafalgar Square. There's been protests everywhere in Paris, Germany, Canada. Canada had thousands of people protesting there. And all this is going to do is stir up more division, more hatred. So let's go back to the Israeli, the security minister. False flags. Now, I am led to believe that the wall that was constructed to divide Palestine and Israel is so incredibly technical. I think it's like 10 meters tall, loads of it underground with anti-tunneling facilities in place. There's like literally watchtowers every 500 feet all the way across that wall, manned, surveilled constantly. There's been reports of people working for Israeli defense on that wall saying if there's a cockroach that came near, we would know about it. So why do you think all of a sudden that wall was breached in 26 different places? Yes, and loads of these watchtowers were taken out by drones, probably from Iran. Yes, and that attack happened with hang gliders and paragliders. How incredible is that? One of the most highly looked upon intelligence agencies in the world, Mossad. How could this happen? It's the same sort of thing which happened at 9/11. All security pretty much went down on the big day. Exactly the same happened here. And we all know what happened at 9/11. It was a massive false flag event to trigger all sorts of agendas. We're particularly thinking about PNAC, the Project of the New American Century. If you haven't read anything about that, look into it. The same sort of thing has happened here in Israel. There was no way on this earth that that was a surprise attack. And we need to really look into what this Israeli security minister is doing. Who is he involved with? Who is funding him? Who is he talking to? He must be held accountable for what happened, because there's no way that could happen in a surprise attack. Not a single chance. Everything stinks and yells false flag. Let me guys know as much as you can via email. Speaking of email, I had one earlier. There is a guy that I know not too far from Boscombe down here in the UK. They have been literally sounding 11 o'clock air raid sirens there. Loads more traffic, air traffic as usual, including Apache gunships and an increased police presence in that area. If any of you guys live near any of the 11 United States Air Force bases here in the UK, if you are seeing things which you don't normally see, moreover, an increase in police numbers, please can you send me an email? We need to look into this and try and get a picture of what is going on. I suspect bad things are coming, and we could be looking at a massive historical land invasion attack in Gaza, probably Monday morning, the classic dawn attack. We will await and see what happens. You guys take care. Don't forget to check the links under the description. I will try and provide as much as I can leading to all of the stuff I've been talking about. And believe you me, there's a fair few. You guys take care. Please share the video. And thanks for watching and stay funky.